let's get started on the ones today. Been a few weeks now, so here's hoping the week's break has brought me some luck and I get some really good ones. Okay, let's start here. What do we have? And it's energy. Fire energy. Still not into the card game enough, don't know enough to say what I know about this. I'm learning, but still not sure if I actually have a card that would make that energy worthwhile. So here's hoping we get a Pokemon. And Scolivian, is it? Scovillain. I've got a vague memory of something about this Pokemon, but I don't know why. Spicy pepper Pokemon. This is a grass type. I mean, I presume it's at least part dragon type in the games, because it looks like a high dragon, but green and red instead of just black and purple. Double type. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it is grass and fire type. Okay, so I suppose the basic energy could be useful for this. As long as it's in play. Spicy headbutt. That sounds like something. Yeah, that sounds like something you shouldn't click online. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. Okay, so I mean at 110, which is actually Scovillain's HP. That's a pretty good card, all told. Pretty good amount of damage. Ignores resistance. I mean, what use is it being? Although it must be for the energy that the double type is useful, because it's still weak to fire. Obviously as a grass type. So yeah, I don't. Maybe there's something else that I don't know about yet, but the redhead converts spicy chemicals into fire energy and blasts the surrounding area with a super spicy stream of flame. So is it a fire grass type? Maybe that's why I know it. It's the only fire grass type, is it? No other ones are springing to mind, but as I've said in virtually every video, the newer gens are something of a mystery to me. I do quite like the sort of shininess of it though. That's quite cool and helpful, so that's good so far. So hope it keeps going. And we've got Pidgey. Okay, something I will easily recognise, because it is a Gen 1. It's got the... I've forgotten to check what the actual official term for it is. The sort of... Not the shiny effect, but the sort of shiny design with the sort of type shininess to it. So this one's a flying type, I presume, since it's weak to electric and resistant to fighting type. 60 HP, 1 attack of Gust. I mean, it's the first stage of a 3-stage evolution. Pretty bog standard, I suppose. Not something super powerful, but wouldn't say it's super weak either. It is docile and prefers to avoid conflict. That's not the way I remember it from the anime. If disturbed, however, it can ferociously strike back. I don't know, did Ash disturb it? I mean, he tried to catch it in his coat, so yeah, I suppose that is fair. Yeah, he really did disturb it. That makes sense. Just show you again, because I haven't probably done that enough. Nice card design, really. 2 out of 3 been pretty good so far. And now we've got Entei. Ooh. I haven't been losing badly to my own Pokemon cards. So use or nothing. Entei, obviously legendary, one of the legendary cats. The lion type. Looks like it's exactly the same as the one I opened before. Pressure and Blaze Ball seems to be what I remember it having. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon do 20 less damage. That's before applying weakness and resistance. Okay, that's really good if it applies before weaknesses and resistance, because that can really reduce the damage. And then Blaze Ball, 60 plus, and does 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. I finally know what I could use this for. Thank God for that. I'm learning slowly. Slowly, I'm moving from complete idiot to minor idiot. It's said that when it roars, a volcano erupts somewhere around the globe. Like the Pidgey, it's got the fire type equivalent of the sort of type shiny design. I need to find the official term for that. Next up, Belly Bolt. Kinda looks like a Palpitoad, but electric rather than water ground. That seems right, yeah. Elefrog Pokemon. Okay, it even evolves from Tadbulb. Like, it really does seem like the Timpole Palpitoad kind of equivalent of a new region. So Electro Bullet does 70 damage. Belly Bolt's HP is 130, so that will be a significant portion of its own HP if it were to be used against it. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance. Okay, that would be useful. Of getting rid of something that was immune to electric. Well, resistant to electric. So that's a pretty good attack. It could be a very versatile and useful card for not your sort of the ace up your sleeve, but something to weaken up the Pokemon for your strongest Pokemon to sweep through them. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Really good attack to have. When this Pokemon expands and contracts its wobbly body, bit insulting that, the belly button dynamo in its stomach produces a huge amount of electricity. It's an interesting choice. It's got a dynamo in its stomach that's charged when it expands and contracts its belly. I wonder if I could do that with my dad and never have to pay electricity bills again. Interesting. Okay, and next up we have a Trevenant. Okay, I do recognise this one because I was the last games that I fully played were the Kalos games, Pokemon X specifically. So I do recognise Trevenant. So 140 HP, so that's higher than Belly Ball. I think that's higher than Entei as well. Yeah, it's 10 higher than Entei. Don't know how to feel about that one. So its ability, Forest Miasma. During Pokemon checkup, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. I don't know how the damage counters work fully, so although it would be good, I don't think I could fully exploit that. I don't know enough to fully exploit that yet. and lock up, which does 100 damage. That's a very powerful attack. That's hugely powerful. During your opponent's next turn, a defending Pokemon can't retreat. So it's got to stay and face a second attack, but I mean, Trevenant only has a one attack. 140 HP is huge though, that's really strong. Small roots that extend from the tips of his Pokemon's feet can tie into the trees of the forest and give Trevenant control over them. Okay, Trevenant is really powerful. Far more powerful than I gave it credit for in the games. It was just one of those annoying grass ghost things that you had to power on through. Okay. Paldean Clodsire. Not done much in the way of Paldea, so can't give you very much on that. It evolves from Paldean Wooper. Okay. So yeah, I knew it was the equivalent of a Quagsire, but is there a non-Paldean Clodsire if it evolves from a Paldean Wooper? I suppose they needed to put that in just in case people don't know. Splattering Poison. Both active Pokemon are now poisoned. Okay. Seems like a bit. Seems like a high price to pay for not really getting anything. 140 HP again though. Man, Entei is being made to look really bad today. Venoshock. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 120 more damage. That's 200. Okay, that... I've changed my mind about splattering poison. That is a brutal move. I don't think I've got any cards with 200 HP, so that's an instant KO so far for against everything I've opened. Okay, Clodsire. Don't know about the games, but on the card game, these Pokemon are really powerful. When attacked, this Pokemon will retaliate by sticking thick spines out from its body. It's a risky move that puts everything on the line. It's a very strange entry. Something just does not read right about that. It's a risky move that puts everything on the line. I feel like they're hyping Clodsire up quite a bit there. Whoever wrote that description must love Clodsire. Okay, and next to try and embarrass Entei, we have Barboach, is it called? Barboach, almost. 70 HP, so okay, finally we've got one that isn't going to embarrass Entei. And its attack is Hide. That's not a good name for an attack. That's not an attack. Flip a coin. If heads, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Okay, useful, but Hide just sounds like it's kind of an embarrassing move name, and Mud Slap, which does 20. Fairly standard, nothing out there. Obviously Barboach, the Whiskers Pokemon, evolves into Whiscash. Big catfish-like Pokemon from Hoenn. A lot of strong ground moves that can't be shown in the anime for reasons I think everyone knows by now. Its two whiskers provide a sensitive radar. Even in muddy waters, it can detect its prey's location. Pretty cool, pretty good. You know, I didn't really talk enough about Paldean Clodsire, because obviously it's a different colour, it's a lot darker because of it's a Paldean type, I guess. It looks really cool, it would really stand out among all the other Pokemon cards at least. Okay, so we're down to the final 3. So what do we get? We get another Lechonk. Different design, same Pokemon. Disarming Voice does 20 damage. HP of 70. It searches for food all day. It possesses a keen sense of smell, but doesn't use it for anything other than foraging. So, just do a side-by-side comparison of the 2 Lechonks. This is the new one in case you forgot, from like 2 seconds ago. Your time, probably a minute my own time, because I had to go hunting for the Lechonk. Looks a lot happier. Disarming Voice, just a 1 attack on this one. More of an artistic design. Tomokazu Komiya instead of Atsuko Nishida. But yeah, the previous Lechonk has 2 attacks, Headbutt, Bounce and Mudshot. This Lechonk only has Disarming Voice, which it's as strong as Mudshot, it does 20, but also leaves it confused. There were no effects from this one. So I guess, although it does only have the 1 attack, it's probably the more versatile and better card, I suppose. Okay, second to last, we've got a one that I don't recognise, yay me. Tadbulb. Okay, I should have recognised that one, because obviously it was on Bellebolt's card, because it's a previous evolution. So, 1 attack, 40 damage, Thunder Jolt. This Pokemon also does 10 damage to itself, so it's got 60 HP. So it can do that attack 6 times before knocking itself out. If the opposing Pokemon obviously does no damage to it. So, I mean, 240 HP it can do in damage in the perfect world. Good. Can take out a Pokemon, depending on a second Pokemon, maybe a second or a significant portion of its HP if it's pretty powerful, got good HP. Not bad at all. Tadbulb, good complementary of Bellebolt, which it evolves into, of course. And the final Pokemon we've got a Glimmet. Or Pokemon. For a minute I thought it said 1 Pokemon, the 1 Pokemon. That would be too cool a nickname unless it was supposed to be some sort of Nirvana Pokemon, I guess. Although I suppose Pokemon couldn't delve into religion without too much controversy, especially Buddhism. So 70 HP and Poison Shard. That could go quite well with the Clodsire, with its Venoshock. Wouldn't need to use Splattering Poison, because Poison Shard poisons your opponent's active Pokemon as well. It absorbs nutrients from cave walls. The petals it wears are made of crystallized poison. So all told, pretty good. It absorbs nutrients from cave walls. Petals it wears are made of crystallized poison. I mean, it's a rock type Pokemon, so it's weak to grass, but it's talking all about poison. Something to bear in mind, I suppose, when using it in the game. Presumably it's a poison type, at least in that. So, good variety. Pretty sure I got a second Entei. Found out that Paldean Clodsire can do some serious damage, as indeed can Barboach. Trevenant, cool, surprisingly cool Pokemon. Pidgey and Scovillain, and Entei, of course. Those are the 3 today that I got with special designs on the cards, 2 special type designs, and the Score Villain just being shiny. So all in all, a good haul today. It all went quite well. So I hope that it was at least a little bit enjoyable. I've been Japan Animation, and I'll see you next week for how many packs do we have left? 3 more, and there's another pack which I feel probably just has energy in it. I might open it off camera to take a look, because obviously not got much to say about energy cards, because I don't know the card game well enough. So if it does have other Pokemon in there, I'll open that as well. So there'll be 4 more videos. And as I said recently, since I'm now allowed to go live, I'm gonna keep considering whether or not to do the last opening as a live, just for the fun of it, see what it's like. Not sure how I'm going to work around the time zone differences, because, well, although the majority of my followers are apparently in the UK, I'm going to have to factor in the fact that quite a few of them come from India, China, the US. I'm surprisingly popular in Latin America. I guess there must be no PokeTuber from South America, because my Spanish videos always seem to do far better than I think they should. So I'll see you next week for potentially the 3rd or 4th from last video. See you then.